Here's our next section of notes, and we're going to be talking about factor label or dimensional analysis. The two terms mean the same thing. It's a method of showing your work to perform calculations to convert between units. It keeps your works organized so it's easy to follow. Because of that, it's used frequently to solve various problems in any science class that you might be enrolled in. So here's an example. How many seconds are there in 3 days? Here's an example of one of the conversion factor you're going to need. You've got 1 day equals 24 hours. Well, we use the table method. In the table method, what you do is you start off with what you know. This is your known. Well, the question gives us how many seconds are in 3 days. So this is our known. We're starting with 3 days. And our unknown is how many seconds. So we're going to start with our known. So we're starting with 3 days. And now I'm ready for my first conversion factor. Well, 1 day is equal to 24 hours. So my day unit is canceling out. I'm ready for my next conversion factor. Now I need to go from hours to minutes. So 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So my hours units are canceling off and I'm left with minutes. Now I'm ready for my next conversion factor. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. And now the minutes are canceled out. I'm left with seconds. Second is the unit that I'm trying to end with, so I'm done with the problem and I'm ready for the calculator. Now, with our Casio calculators, it's really nice because I can enter all the numbers that are on the top of these fractions and multiply them together, and then enter the numbers that are in the bottom of the fraction, and it'll multiply it together. So basically, these are individual fractions, and I'm just multiplying them all together. So in order to do that, you multiply all the numbers on the top together. So it's 3 times 24 times 60 times 60. And when you do that, you're going to get 259200. And when you do the numbers together at the bottom, it's going to be 1 times 1 times 1, which puts it all over 1. So you're going to have 259,200 seconds. And it's important, of course, to put seconds on here. So the next question is, how many miles are there in 893,200 inches? So we're going to need a number of different conversion factors for this. The conversion factors we're going to use is we're going to need to know that there are 12 inches per foot, 1 foot. We're also going to need to know that 1 mile has 5,280 feet. So now we're ready to start the problem once we've got those two conversion factors handy. So again, I'm going to do my table, and I'm going to put the known in the top of the table. So we're starting with 8,900 or 893,200 inches. That's our known. And we're going to miles, which is our unknown. So we've got inches on the top, so I'm going to need to have inches on the bottom. I can go to this conversion factor right here and just flip it so that I now have inches on the bottom. So there are 12 inches in 1 foot. My units are canceling out, and I'm ready to go on to the next conversion factor. I've got a foot on the top, so I'm going to need feet on the bottom of the next one. I forgot the 0 there. So there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Again, my units are canceling out. I'm left with mile, which is what I need for my answer. and so I'm ready for the calculator. I'm going to multiply all the numbers on the top together. And I multiply all the numbers on the bottom together. So I come out with this fraction. You then solve the fraction, and you're going to get 14.0972, and that 2 repeats. And now we're going to have the unit mile. So your final answer would be 14.0972 miles. All right, we're going to go on to the next page here. How many months are in 15.1 years? So the conversion factors we're going to need are how many months in a year, 12 months per 1 year, is the only conversion factor we're going to need. We've got years, we've got months. This is our known, this is our unknown. So I start my table, start with my known, 15.1 years. Ready for my conversion factor. 1 year is equal to 12 months. My units are canceling off here. I'm left with months, which is what I need for my answer. Put it in the calculator. And the answer you're going to end up with is 181.2 months. And that would be your final answer. So now I'm going to give you some time to do the practice problems here. I'm going to walk around the room and just double check, and then I'll show you the correct answers when you're finished. So take a few minutes, and I want you to complete these example problems. It says for each of the following problems, use the provided manipulatives to solve for an answer with dimensional analysis. Typically what I'd use is little blocks that have the conversion factors on them, so you could just lay those out. You have all had enough practice with factor label. I will go ahead and put up the conversion factors so that you can see them to work these problems. So I'll show those factors to you and then show you can check your answers. All right, so here are the conversion factors that you're going to need for the next questions on the worksheet. You're going to be doing questions 1 through 8, and then I'll show you the answers in just a minute so you can double check your work. I'll give you some time to do this in class. I mean, it's going to take you a little while. Again, every conversion factor that you need should be here on this chart. If you have questions, just call me over and ask. And if we have one that a lot of people seem to be having some problems with, I can certainly do that right on the board for it in front of you. All right, so you should have those all finished, and I'm just going to write down what the answers are you should have gotten. And so for number 1, you should have had 1.66 times 10 to the 6 inches. For number 2, you should have had 4.8476 miles. Number 3, 1.15 times 10 to the 5th fluid ounces. Number 4 should be 50.6 liters. How many teaspoons? 1.54 times 10 to the 3rd teaspoons. How many seconds in a day? And the number of milligrams would be 9 times 10 to the 7 milligrams. And the answer you get should be 833.55, which basically will be 1,830 days. All right, the last part is to do some conversions. And I'll walk you through a couple of these, and then you can do the rest of them on your own. So we're starting with 78.90 kilometers, and we want to go to meters. Again, I'm going to take my known, put it on the top. If I have kilometers on the top, I need kilometers on the bottom. 1 kilometer, and I can go over here to the little chart here. Meters are going to be the base unit. So 1 kilometer is going to be 10 to the third meters. Remember, the base units are going to be meters for length, grams for weight. And then you're going to put that in your calculator. And you're going to get 78,900 meters. All right, I'll do the next one too. We know that we've got 301.0 centimeters. I go over to my chart. Meter is the base unit, and we've got centimeters. Centimeters are right here. It's to the -2, which means that these are smaller than 0. So for centimeters, it's going to be 100 centimeters is going to be in 1 meter. 1 always goes with the bigger unit. So in this case, meter is much bigger. You can see that it's up here on the chart higher. So meter is more than a centimeter, so it's going to take more of the centimeters to make up 1 meter. And then we're to what we need, because our centimeters are canceling off. We've got meters left. And of course, that's going to be 3.01 meters. So go ahead and work on the rest of them, and then I'll pop the answers up so you can check your work. All right, here's the answers for the next few problems. Again, if you have any questions, let me know, and we'll be good to go.